Hello everybody. So the other day I posted a video about the all polymer Glock magazines and kind of a torture test of those. And a viewer said, well, what about regular Glock mags, the stock Glock mags? How do they fare? Well, let's find out. Alright, so if you know my channel, if you've been around long enough, I used to have a little short series. It was a 4 or 5 video series called Why Glocks Suck. And it basically, I took a stock Glock and I ran it over with a truck. That was one video. Another video, I packed it full of snow and ice out of a snowdrift. I buried it in the dirt. I stomped it into a really soupy, thick mud puddle, clay. It was pretty horrible. It makes the things that I did to that gun over a period of a couple years really makes like Military Arms Channel gauntlet tests seem like child's play, and it just kept running and running and running. And that's why I called it Why Glocks Suck, because they don't. That's how I ended it, because they don't. But I've never actually just taken a stock Glock mag and put it through the same torture tests that I put all the other mags that I end up with. So thanks to that viewer, we're going to do that today. So in the video that I posted the other day with like the ETS, the Amend 2 and the Magpul mags, I did a function test, just a full function test. They were Glock 19 mags. I don't have any stock Glock 19 mags left anymore. They all have base plates or plus springs in them and stuff like that. Well, I put plus base plates on them, which causes me to put plus springs in them, so it's not a fair test to test those. But I do still have stock Glock 19X mags. So we'll use those today. So we did a function test, a fully loaded function test. Then we did a steel case test, and then we did a half loaded with dirt added, and then we did a stomp on it and kind of rub it into the ground as if you're doing real training. Where you're dropping mags, running, gun, and going, and you're going to trip over and grind these mags into the dirt. Happens a lot. I had one viewer say, well, I've never had that happen. Stop going to indoor ranges. So that's what I have to say about that. So we're going to test out stock Glock mag. We're going to compare that to the results of the all polymer mags from the other day. Couple things real quick. It's windy out today. You may even be able to hear some of it. I have you tucked in between like the doors of my truck right now in order to get this video shot. These are cutting in and out. It's driving me nuts. It's so windy out here. So we have stock Glock mag. I'm not going to do the brass and steel case test because I've run thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of steel case before in the past, tens of thousands of rounds of it without problem. So I'm not going to do that test, but I am going to show that these function just fine. '17 function just fine. All right, now I have it loaded with 9 rounds. I believe it was 9 rounds of a 17 round mag. So I have it half full. Let's take you down to the dirt. This, by the way, is the same dirt and same location that I shot at before. Let me see if I can get the vantage point correct. All right. So what I did last time was I just rubbed it into the dirt each way, checked to make sure the primer was clear, make sure there's no mud or anything like that. So the first round would definitely go off and rock and roll. And then we took just a little, all right? So, everything's clear. Let me see if I can keep this in camera view. That way nobody thinks I'm cheating. Okay, here's that mag. Still see me? All right. 9. All right, same mag. You can see where it's all scuffed up from the dirt and crap from the last test. Now, with the ETS, all polymer mags, every one of them had a problem. Every one of them had some sort of a hang up, if I remember correctly. So I washed them out with just bottled water, work the follower back and forth. This didn't do that. So I'm not going to wash this. So this is actually going to be a harder test than what the all polymer mags were, because this is not getting a clean or rinse cycle between it. So the next test is, I've showed it functions. I showed that I can basically dig a hole with it and it functions. So now we're going to stomp it into the ground. So hopefully I can again keep this in frame. And where you at? Right here. Keep this in frame as best as possible. Primer's clear, ready to rock and roll. Ooh, did you hear that? Flawless, as I pretty much expected it to be. Now, it did not drop free. Oh, that time it did. It just had a whole bunch of, ooh, yeah. You can see where I scarred up the side of it. It just had a whole bunch of stones dug into it. So, I'm gonna load it up fully one more time, run it. That'll be the end of the test. All right, so here it is. Again, you can see this is the scarred up one, all that good stuff. I got it full, 17 rounds. This thing's beat up. I actually think I cracked some of the polymer on the feet right here. But, and of course the gun, I mean, it's a Glock. Really hard to stop these things. Ready? And, of course, did you really expect a different result? So in the end, I have run tons of different kinds of Glock magazines. This is an SGM Korean magazine. Hasn't failed me that I can think of. This is a KCI mag with actually a wish.com +5 base plate and spring in it. So this is, according to the internet, this is the failure waiting to happen. I've run many, many rounds through this magazine. I have another one on the tailgate. I have two of them just like this. You've probably seen them in pictures before or something like that. But yeah, this is a Korean KCI mag with a wish.com aluminum base plate on it with the spring that came with the base plate. And outside of getting extremely dirty, I don't remember this ever failing me. Here is another KCI magazine, Korean mag, with a +2 base plate on it. That's actually a Glock +2 base plate. And of course, the all polymer mags you saw the other day. And believe it or not, the Korean mags are the only ones that have come even close to running as well as Glock mags. I don't know, I think maybe it's because of the steel liner where the polymer ones don't. But the point is that while I run a ton of different magazines, especially out here on the range, when it comes to serious work, when it comes to self-protection, self-defense, when it comes to defense, when it comes to when I know I need a mag to perform at its best, I only run stock Glock magazines because they just run. No issues. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to check out patreon.com, rttgunsgear.com, which is the website where you can find affiliate links to all kinds of stuff that I use. And, of course, there's a donate tab there as well that directs you to PayPal if you want to support my channel. If you don't want to monetarily support my channel, awesome. Please at least subscribe, share, like the video, keep my algorithms up, and get that stuff, get the word out there. That is a huge help. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you later.